Good morning. What's left of it, that is. Have I been ever waiting for this? I haven't been able to have anything to eat or drink until just right now. Reason being is I just got back from the hospital, went in for a CT scan. They didn't want me to have anything to eat or drink this morning, so at least that's over with. I could have been back maybe about an hour earlier, except that the machine broke down. So they were, talking to me a little bit while I'm waiting, and so I asked them. I said, "What happened?" And apparently somebody had bent something on the machine, and they wanted to check and make sure it was okay. So they had technicians come in and look at it. Concluded it was okay. Now, at least that's the story they gave me. In all likelihood, it was probably electrocuting all patients up to me, and I was, they just didn't want to scare me. No, it could have been. Anyway, it was kind of a neat experience. I laid there, and here's my name on a little computer screen just over top of the entrance to the machine when it runs you in, and it says, "Breathe. Hold your breath." I guess a lot of you have experienced that. Well, some of you. Anyway, that's done now for a while. Now, what was I going to say here? Oh, I did come back to the model table last night, and I worked on our little guns here. And as best I remember, I only have 8 left to go of our 20 millimeter guns. So we're getting there. I'm probably going to have those finished up this evening. And we do have a rollback in which I test the acetone. Hey, I remembered the name. I didn't have to look it up. I don't know why it is I keep forgetting that name. Acetone. Yeah, anyway, so I did a test to see how acetone works on the sprue. You'll see it in the rollback. Well, what else? Oh, the sunrise this morning. Yeah, I guess I was in the hospital when it was coming up, so I don't know if it was good or bad. I haven't even checked yet. If it's nice, well, maybe I'll tack it at the end of today's episode. If it's not, well, I'll just tell you it wasn't. Anyway, let's roll back and try and do something here today. Okay, so it had been my plan not to do any videoing here this evening. I wanted to try and get more of these 20 millimeter guns finished up. But I've been getting comments from people telling me how acetone will work really good on as a debonder for CA glue. Well, I think I kind of knew that, but I also was of the opinion that it will also dissolve the sprue. I know that it will dissolve completely PVC piping. For instance, if I had PVC piping under my sink, and I was to pour this down into the U-trap and leave it, it would literally, in a very short time, well, maybe overnight, it will dissolve the U-pipe, and you're going to find it on your floor. But let's just try it. It's possible that this cheap pipette is not going to be compatible with acetone, and it's going to dissolve. I don't know. I actually have had acetone dissolving plastic, but I have never tested it on sprue. So we're going to test it on sprue. I'm going to stick the macro lens on here. We're going to move in nice and close and try and, I don't know if we'll do a time-lapse thing, but I'll cut out the dead spots, as I say, and we'll see what happens over a period of about, it was about 2.5 minutes or so. I was working with that little paintbrush on one of those parts there to release the CA with this debonder. So we'll give it 2.5 minutes with the acetone and see what happens. Now there might be, I don't know how you would neutralize this. Like, let's say you started to use it to remove one of these parts. And it started to get away on you. How would you neutralize it? Maybe drop the whole thing into soapy water? I don't know. But anyway, let's just test this out here. And I think first of all I'm going to check and make sure that the pipette is compatible. Anyway, the next time we see you, we'll be looking in there real close. Okay, now the acetone has not seemed to adversely have affected the pipette. And what I'm going to keep doing is I'm going to keep dropping it down as it evaporates. Now this may not evaporate quite as quickly as the debonder did. But there probably is evaporation going. Okay, I'm going to shut up now and we'll just watch the timer off to the side. Well, it's not very often that I'm glad that I'm wrong. But you know what? I'm glad that I'm wrong here because okay, it did not dissolve the sprue. So all of you guys who were telling me that you could use this as a debonder, and here I've got a whole liter of it. It does not seem to be sticking to the. This might be just a little bit soft, but you know we should do another test. I should take two pieces of. I should take a piece of scrap photo etch. Maybe, hey, you know what? I got that extra piece, remember? And glue it to something, and then just see how well it works with the paintbrush. Oh, I should check my paintbrush and see if it'll dissolve the bristles. Yeah, I think this is the same one we were using yesterday. See, if it's going to dissolve the bristles, what will happen is they will glue themselves together, and as you can see, this is not. So we could use this paintbrush. I don't know about a cheap kid's paintbrush that you get with like paint, with a little painting set. I think that it might dissolve that type of brush, but this is evaporating. I don't know if you notice there's practically none left, but the important thing is it has not seemed to have affected the sprue. Well, that's good news. I'm glad I'm wrong. I really am. Okay. I think we've done enough here. Okay. This is my second attempt at trying to do this. The first time I made the mistake of not using the holder downer here to hold it down, and it was sticking to the applicator. There we go. That should help. I'll try this again. There we go. Once we get it started, it should flow right along underneath that piece of railing that's touching the sprue. I'm not going to be using the curing agent. No, I am actually using more of this CA than I did on the pom-pom guns. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got that covered. Now we'll let this cure overnight, and then we'll see how the acetone works on it in the morning. So yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Okay, it is morning, and we did have a nice sunrise this morning while I was having my CT scan. Now, I've got to tell you something I've really noticed over the last few years. I was born here in Winnipeg, but then for the first 18 years of my life, I was all over the place. But we moved back to Winnipeg when I was 18, and I've been here ever since. Now, when I moved back to Winnipeg, the parking meters took a penny, and a penny would give you 12 minutes. And for a nickel, you could have a whole hour in the parking meter. Yeah, well, things have really changed. Right now at the hospital, it costs me $9.50 to park, and mind you, I wasn't at a meter. I was at a parkade. The meters don't take coins anymore. You have to go up to a machine and get a ticket and put it on your dash. I think it's about the same. Anyway, $9.50 to park at the hospital for the time I was there this morning. So what have we got? Gone from about a nickel per hour to something like $4 an hour? I guess that's what it would be. Well, that's a sign of the times, isn't it? It doesn't pay to have a car anymore. You know, when I was a kid, I really wanted to have a car. Now I'd be only too happy not to have one. Anyway, let's continue on here this morning. Boy, I was needing that, I'll tell you. Well, I wouldn't say I was needing it, but I was sort of wanting it. Okay, now we were going to see how using acetone to remove the hardened CA glue was going to work out. I'll put the macro lens on, and instead of using the little brush that I was talking about, I think I'll use this larger brush, and that way I was having a problem with the little brush drying out too much on the debonder, and I had to keep dipping it in, whereas I think if I use this larger one, I'll be able to keep it saturated, and there's a lot more bristles, so the you might say I was going to say aggravation, but it's not aggravation. The abrasion will be a little bit more widespread. I'll just have to be careful I don't bend this thing. Okay, yeah, let's put our macro lens on here, and once again we'll zoom in and have a nice close look at it first. And I think what I'll do is I'll mount this somehow in the helping hands. Yeah. Okay, I was going to more or less go directly to the helping hands here, but I thought that once I get this part mounted in the helping hands, in all likelihood, you're not going to be able to see the CA glue, you know, how thick it is built up around those, around the photo etch. Whereas if I bring my lighting in from the back and have it reflect off everything, it should show up pretty good. So, once again, you're getting to see it a whole lot better than I am. So now let's put it in the helping hands. Okay, I was right. The CA glue does not show up very well. You can sort of see where it is, but not really. Let's do a dry run here and make sure we're not going to knock this thing crooked. No, it should be alright. Let's try the other one. I'll try and come from the underneath here so I don't block your vision. Yeah, I should be able to keep it saturated. What we'll try to do is we won't do both sides. We'll just do this one here because it's actually easiest for me. Okay, and we will start our timer now. When this comes loose, we should be able to see the photo etch break away. I'll just redip here. I think we're just about there. I'm noticing that there's debris being wiped away. Unless that's the plastic. No, I don't think it says plastic dissolving. We concluded that the plastic does not dissolve. Now, is it my imagination, or are we sort of developing sort of a milky mixture going on there? Let me check on the monitor. Well, there's something being... It is probably just being held on by a thread right now. I keep accidentally bumping this thing. I should have grounded it a little bit better. It was just about ready to let go. Okay, moving right along. We have made everything now in step 5, except there's about 8 more of these that I have to assemble, and I'll probably be doing that this evening. Remember, we need a total of 53, so we've done pretty good. We finished these little guns. They're ready on the rotating blocks, ready to be sprayed. Now, next thing we got to do is we have to make 16 of some sort of a basket. It looks like it's these ones right here. The number 1. Number ones and number ones and number twos. There's different types here. I didn't notice that. I guess the one is mirror image to the other. They sure look alike. I'm gonna have to maybe put these in separate tins to keep them separate. You know what? I would really like to. Oh, and here's some down here. These are definitely a different size. These are much taller when they're put together. Yeah, let's see if we can find these in Carlo's book. We might even be able to find an actual photograph that these are in, or it could be that these still exist on the real Iowa. And there's a lot of footage on YouTube right now of the Iowa just the way it is right now. People walking around on it, you know. I don't know if these things would still be used or not. Well, they're probably still there. I don't know what they are, but I guess if we were to actually see them, stop talking about it and try and find them, let's just for the fun of it, let's check out Carlo's book here, and then we'll come back here and yeah. Okay, it took me several minutes here to find this. Once I got started, I just couldn't stop. Okay, I've actually done this twice. At first I thought we were looking at these things right here, but actually what we're going to be making is baskets. And these baskets are called number 4. And if we go down to number 4, it's called a floater nest a floater net basket. Apparently they were removed in 1951. Now by floaters, I would assume that's some sort of life preserver. Yeah, so I guess they were baskets for life preservers. If I'm wrong, I'm sure I'm going to get corrected. Yeah, at first I thought they were these things here, which were removed in 1946, which were ammunition boxes for the 20 millimeter guns. Now, that was really, in my opinion, a stupid place to have your ammunition boxes right up there on the deck. First shell coming in is going to take everybody in the near vicinity out, right? Okay, well, they figured that out soon after they built the ship and they removed them. But anyway, these things that we're going to be making are some kind of baskets for floaters. Okay, got that figured out. Well, as that well-known song goes, at least well-known here in Canada, you can see by the clock on the wall. That's all. That's all. And that's all the coffee, too. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.